That the next concept, very important and that much of interesting important concept for the interview room, that is nothing but polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism. Right now try to understand, sir, what is meant by polymorphism, sir. Okay, now how many types of polymorphism, that everything will discuss. First of all, polymorphism, right? So in that polymorphism, poly means many, sir. Okay, now that polymorphism, poly means what here? Many. Next, after that, here we have like say we have like a morphs. Morphs is nothing but forms. Okay, now morphs is nothing but what's are here? Forms. Poly means many, morphs is nothing but forms. Many forms. Okay, now sir, what is meant by many forms? Is Java is an object-oriented programming language, right? So Java is an object-oriented programming language, right? So in this case here, same object only, okay, same object only, it will show different behaviors at a different stages. Okay, right? Are you able to understand what I am saying now here? In that same object, it shows different behavior at a different stages of its life cycle. Is nothing but polymorphism. Okay, next here, poly is nothing but many, morphs is nothing but forms. If you observe very clearly, like here we have like some shops is available, like some hospitals. Polyclinic hospital, polyclinic is there. Polyclinic is nothing but what here? Multiple, okay, multiple diseases related doctors is available here. Next, polytechnic college is available. Polytechnic is nothing but multiple technologies. Okay, right? Are you able to understand what I am saying now here? That is nothing but what here? Polymorphism, right? So try to understand here what is meant by polymorphism now here. Polymorphism is nothing but an object shows an object shows an object shows different behavior at different stages. An object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle. Okay, are you able to understand what I am saying now here? Okay, an object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle is known as what's are here? Polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism is nothing but what here? An object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle. Okay, stages of its life cycle is known as life cycle is known as polymorphism. Okay, it's known as what's are here? Polymorphism. Okay, next after that here in Java, okay, otherwise in polymorphism there are two types, sir. Okay, now how many types of polymorphism here? Two types. What are the two types of polymorphism? Is nothing but the first one is compile time polymorphism. Okay, what is the first one now here? Compile time polymorphism. Next, the second one is runtime polymorphism. Okay, the first one is compile time polymorphism. Next, the second one is what here? Runtime polymorphism. Right? Now try to understand here what I'm saying now. For example, I'm going to take paint. Okay, now here I'm writing polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism. In that polymorphism, what is meant by polymorphism now here? An object shows different behavior at different stages of its life cycle. Is nothing but polymorphism. I said how many types of polymorphism is available here? There are two types of polymorphism, sir. What are the two types of polymorphism, sir? Okay, the first one is compile time polymorphism. What is the first one now here? Compile time polymorphism. Next, the second one is runtime polymorphism. What is the second one now here? Runtime polymorphism, right? So try to understand. Okay, compile time polymorphism. Next, runtime polymorphism, right? Compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Okay, so here the compile time polymorphism is available, right? The compile time polymorphism is also known as static binding, sir. Okay, now the compile time polymorphism is also known as what here? Static binding. Or we can say early binding also. Or we can say what's here? Early binding. Next here, the runtime polymorphism is also known as like a dynamic binding. Dynamic binding. Or it is also known as what's here? Late binding also. Okay, now try to understand first one. Sir, what is meant by compile time polymorphism? Okay, what is meant by compile time polymorphism? Right? Try to understand. For example, here we have like a one student is there. Okay, try to understand one student is there. Hmm. One student is there here. Try to understand now. So the student is in that home. Okay, student is in a home. How he will behave like in a home? How he will behave like a students behave like in a home? Uh-huh. What? He behaved like a very innocent fellow. So today class was not good. I mean, today class was very good. Today class was not good. So he will behave like a very innocent fellow, right? So he will behave like a very innocent. He will talk like a innocent. He will talk like a class. Okay, class was not good or class was good. Something he will behave like a, some good things. Now next after that here, same friend only coming to same student only coming to friend. How he will behave like a, tell me now. How he will behave like friends? Le macha, yesterday night brand was not good. Today night we'll go through that some new brand. Okay. And next after that here, like a, for example, a new brand. I mean, new cigar came into the market. We have to try that today. So he will talk like a brand and some cigar, say something, some he will behave some differently. Okay. Next after that here, same friend only coming to that Hyderabad. Okay, coming to that Hyderabad, coming with girlfriends, with girls. How he will behave? Tell me now. Uh, what? Head chef, you know, head chef. Okay, he will behave like something, some different way. Okay, model. Okay, now try to understand here the person is same person, same object. Okay, here the same person, same student only. In a home he will behave like a different way. Same student only, in a friends he will behave some different. Same friend only, coming to that he will talk some different. Same like that, same Java object. Okay, same Java object, it will behave different in a different phases of life cycle. So this is nothing but what's are here? Compile time polymorphism. Okay, na same Java object shows different behavior at different stages of life cycle. Then coming to that, sir, what is meant by runtime polymorphism, sir? Okay, what is meant by runtime polymorphism? So try to understand. For example, here, okay, Ajay is there. Ajay parents is arranged one marriage for that arrange. Okay, for Ajay. Okay, so class. For example, here I'm creating one class called parent class. Okay, class here I'm creating one class called parent class. The parent class, the parents are arranged marriage. So for that here I'm creating one method called public void marry method. Okay, public void marry method. In that marry method, parents arrange the marriage, right? So that girl name is what's the girl name, boss? System dot out dot print ln of listen ma. For example, so here I'm writing some name is some appalamma. Okay, some name here I'm taking. So, so parents said, Ajay, you marry with Appalamma. So, but here, so now try to understand. Here I'm creating another one class, child class. Okay, class, child class. In that child class, I mean Ajay wants marry, but Ajay don't want Appalamma, right? So for that here, child class extends to parent class. Okay, child class is extends what's are here? Parent class. Okay, right? Now try to understand what I am saying now. Now listen. In the child class child extends parent. So here the child wants marry, but he don't want appalam, right? So for that here he is accessing that marry method, right? So child class we can access whatever the parent class properties is available. So for that here I am taking public void marry method. Okay, overriding the marry method, but he don't want appalam, right? Okay, system dot out dot print ln. Okay, he want some like a Rashmika Mandana. Okay, Rashmika. Okay, right? Are you able to understand, sir, what I am saying here? Respond no. Are you able to understand what I am saying now here? This is nothing but a runtime polymorphism. Sir, what is meant by runtime polymorphism, sir, is nothing. But here we have one class, right? Parent class. In that parent class, we have one method. What is the method now in the parent class here? Marry method, one method is there. Okay, whenever you don't like that parent class implementation, okay, whenever if you don't satisfied with that parent class implementation, in child class we can override we can access that method, and you can provide our own implementation. Okay, in the child class you can provide our own implementation. That is nothing but what, tell me here? Overriding method, overriding, or we can say runtime polymorphism. Are you able to understand what I am saying now here? Okay, now try to understand what I am saying now here. So tell me, first thing, compile time polymorphism is nothing but an object shows different behavior at the different stages of life cycle. Next, dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism is nothing but if you are not satisfied with parent class implementations, method implementations, we can override that methods and we can provide your own implementation. Are you able to understand what I am saying now? Okay, sir. Then how we can achieve this compile time polymorphism? Okay, we can achieve this compile time polymorphism by using method overloading, sir. Okay, now how we can achieve the compile time polymorphism here? Method overloading. Then how we can achieve this runtime polymorphism, sir, is nothing but method overriding. Next, after that here we have like a inheritance also. Inheritance is also required or not? Acquiring the parent class properties, inheritance is required or not? Yes. And another one thing is also required. That is nothing but upcasting. That is nothing but what's are here? Upcasting. Sir, what is meant by upcasting is nothing but previous sessions we have done about like a typecasting. In the typecasting, two types is there: primitive typecasting and non-primitive typecasting. In that primitive typecasting also two types: widening and narrowing. That time I said this non-primitive typecasting we'll discuss later. That non-primitive typecasting also two types available. That is nothing but upcasting and downcasting. Okay, right? This is the story. Now you guys are able to understand what is that polymorphism. Okay, now you guys got it overview, sir. Okay, no problem. Now try to understand here. Now first we'll go to the compile time polymorphism. Okay, compile time polymorphism. Okay, compile time polymorphism. Okay, how we can achieve the compile time polymorphism? By using method overloading or overriding? Overloading. Okay, we can achieve this compile time polymorphism by using what, sir, here? By using method overloading. Okay, now by using method overloading. Sir, what is meant by method overloading, sir? First here. Okay, now try to understand here. What is an method overloading? What is an method overloading, sir? Is nothing but here the method overloading is nothing but try to understand here. Developing developing multiple methods. Developing multiple methods with the same name. Developing multiple methods with the same name but different arguments list. Okay, developing multiple methods with the same name but different argument list is known as, okay, is known as what, sir, here? Is known as method overloading. Okay, now method overloading is nothing but developing multiple methods with the same name but different argument list is nothing but method overloading, right? Now try to understand. I will execute one. Okay then. Now try to understand here. I'm going to create one class. Okay, here I'm going to create one class. Right click, new class I'm creating. Okay, so for example my class name here a package, right? So here I'll use some package. Okay, com.oops.java, I'm using the package. Next after that here I'm creating one class. My class name is something like a sample class, one class I'm creating. Okay, right? So now here just I have created one class called what's are here sample class, right? Now what's the concept now here? Method overloading. What is that method overloading here? Developing multiple methods with the same name. Here here we have to develop the multiple methods. So tell me how to create the method now. Public void m1. I'm creating one method called m1. Okay. Next after that here I'm creating another one method. Public void m2. So here I have created two methods. Now tell me this is a method overloading, sir. No. So why? Because the method overloading, developing multiple methods. We are developing multiple methods, but different same name. Okay, and the method name should be same. Now here I am developing multiple methods. Now tell me this is method overloading? No. But here we have to pass different argument list. Okay, for example, here I am passing just int a. This is nothing but what here? This is a method overloading or not, sir? Yes. Now here I am creating another one method. Public void m1 method. Public void m1 method, right? Public void m1 method. Now here I am writing, for example, string a. Okay, right? Now tell me inside the class here I am developing multiple methods with the same name. Say yes or no, sir? With the same name, but we are passing different argument list. This is nothing but method overloading or not? Yes. Now tell me what is a constructor overloading? Developing multiple constructors with the same name but a different document. Now here I am writing system.out.println. Okay, system.out.println of. Now here I am writing. So for example, okay, now here I'm going to write non-parameterized method. Okay, now here I'm going to write system.out.println of int type. Okay, now here I am writing int type parameterized method. Okay, next after that, now here I am taking system.out.println. And now tell me what I want to do now here. String type. String type parameterized method. Okay, right? Are you able to understand what I am saying now here? Next execution starts from where here? Main method. So for that here I am creating one main method also. Now here I am going to create. Okay, these methods are static methods or non-static methods? Non-static methods. So we have to create object or not, sir? So for that here I am creating an object. Okay, sample s1 is equal to new sample. Sample s1 is equal to new sample. Next, I want to call this non-parameterized method. How we can call the non-parameterized method? S1 dot m1 method. Okay, S1 dot m1 method. If I'll execute this, what will I get the output now here? Only non-parameterized method. So for example, here I'm calling S1 dot m1 of integer, right? So integer type. So here I'm writing some 10. Okay. Now what will get the output now here? Something int type also. Now try to understand again here. S1 dot m1 of, for example, string, right? So for example, here I'm writing Java. Okay. Now try to understand here string type parameter is constructor. Now same Java object only, same Java object only. But here we are calling m1 method, m1 method, m1 method. But here I'm calling m1 method, right? We are getting non-parameter. Here parameter, here string type. This is nothing but a method overloading. You guys are able to understand what is method overloading? So tell me what is a method overloading here? Developing multiple methods with the same name but different argument list. That is nothing but what's are here? Method overloading. Okay, that is nothing but what here? Method overloading. Right? Any doubts now in the method overloading concept, sir? Done. Now try to understand here. I have few. I'm going to give few tasks. Please try to do the task. That is nothing but can we can we overload static methods? Okay. Can we overload static methods or not? Next, can we overload final method or not? Okay, can we overload final method? Next, after that here, can we overload private methods? Can we overload private methods? Next, after that here, can we overload main method? Okay, this is the task. Right, are you able to understand what I am saying now here?